There are certain challenges that our kids will go through at different stages of their lives, yet will never open up to talk to us about it as their parents or even as guardians or anything, especially from their teenage ages. They will go through all those struggles and go through those challenges, yet they will never be courageous or scarcely ever be courageous enough to talk about it. Here are four things that our kids are possibly going to struggle with, yet will not be able to talk about it. Number one, low self-esteem and inferiority complex. This is a state where you have a low opinion of yourself. This is a stage where you tend to believe more in your flaws than your positive aspects. This is a stage where you tend to describe yourself mostly with negative descriptions. Most kids, especially from their teenage ages, tend to struggle with their self-esteem, and it is always one of the struggles that they will scarcely have the courage to talk about it. Number two, lack of self-love. Most kids, when they get to their teenage ages, some from even their young ages, they just don't feel comfortable in their skin. They just find it difficult to appreciate their skin and appreciate themselves for who they are. This is one of the struggles that a lot of kids go through, yet cannot talk about it. People who go through lack of self-love generally are mostly emotionally very needy. There's always seek the validation of people to feel comfortable. Number three, lack of self-confidence. This is a state where you tend to doubt your abilities and tend to doubt your capabilities. Most often, kids who go through lack of self-esteem feel very reluctant to try anything because they don't even believe they have the ability to be able to do it. Number four, peer pressure. This is very common among kids, especially from their teenage ages. Peer pressure is when you are heavily influenced by the people around you, around your peers. You're heavily influenced by them and you tend to do a lot of things, not because you want to do them, not because you like doing them, but just because you want to feel accepted, not just because you want to feel like you belong. Now, the question is, how can we help our kids through those challenges? How can we help either prevent them from feeling this way or help them if they're already in it to come out of it? Number one, the very first thing is to teach our kids self-acceptance. It is very necessary to start teaching your kids to accept themselves, to learn to accept and love themselves for who they are. Teach them that each and every one of them are peculiar just the way they are, and they should learn to love and appreciate themselves just like that. Number two, you have to teach your kids self-discovery. Let them start learning to search deep within themselves to discover really who they are and not allow the impression or the image they have about themselves to depend on what people think or what people say about them. Start teaching them self-discovery from their young ages so that even when they grow up, in the midst of all the pressure from their friends, they will learn to look within to know who they really are. Number three, teach your kids not to always stay in their comfort zone. Let them learn to go out of their comfort zone. Teach your kids to know that they will scarcely achieve anything if they stay in their comfort zone. This will help to boost their self-confidence. Number four, teach your kids not to compare themselves. Teach your kids to know that each person has a peculiar destiny and a unique race to run. Teach them not to compare their success and failures with the successes and failures of other kids. Let them not see themselves as a success because another kid is failing or because they are succeeding more than another kid. Teach them to focus on themselves and seek to be the best version of themselves.